What's everyone up to? So excited. It's time to start breaking out the seeds and going through. Oh, it's exciting times here in the household. There's a lot going on. I'm going to be making some wood finish by hand using carnauba, beeswax, some other miscellaneous ingredients. They're not here yet, okay? But the most exciting part here is over here. I got my seed station set up. It's plasticed off to help minimize any kind of like dust and stuff like that. And it should help control the temperature a little bit better in there. And I needed some quick little light mounts, so I hooked together some 2x6 and 2x4s, and voila, light holders. All right, so I started making my potting mix here. Look at this. This is some really nice stuff. Look at that. And I'm going to go through my recipe here real quick with y'all. All right. Look at that. This is nice. So I'm tired of buying this stuff. You know, I have been in the commercial business of potting mix for a long time. I have bought many tons of it, okay, in my life. And this is half the price for double the amount. And look at it. I mean, like, look at that. That is some good potting mix. Okay, nice and fluffy. There's nothing in here that's going to cause compaction. All right, so I'm going to go through this, what I do here. Standard bases for most potting mixes are your sphagnum. Okay, so this is 62 liters, and I used about half of it. All right, I'm predicting to get about a half a wheelbarrow of material, and that should fill me probably close to 15 trays-ish, okay? After I use my sphagnum, you have to have some type of nutrients added. So that's why I use the mushroom compost in here. Okay, I add some of that, and what that does is it's not so much just the nutrients they get from the compost, but it's the microbial growth that is abundant in mushroom compost. And when I mix that into the potting soil, that inoculates the potting soil with all of that good microbial growth and all of the good bacteria. Okay, the key is to not add too much, because you don't want a heavy or dense potting mix. All right, so usually, you know, if you're making, say, a 5-gallon bucket worth, okay, you're only going to want maybe like 2 inches worth of compost, the mushroom compost, okay? Because most of the time, your seeds don't even need nutrients until their second set of leaves. Once their cotyledons extend through and then you get a second set, then that's when they start absorbing nutrients. But for that plant to have that stem and then the 2 cotyledons on the top of it, that's all getting nutrients from the seed, okay? But you got to be ready for when that next set starts growing. So that's where the nutrients from that comes in, okay? I always also add a little bit of gypsum, okay? Because we have a lot of clay out here, and calcium helps loosen clay. Calcium's also like one of the main ingredients in the building of cell walls in plants. Okay, so when you initiate calcium, you're going to have a better chance of that plant having enough calcium. That's usually one of the most common things that people are short on is calcium. And that can really affect the building structures in a plant. Okay, so with that being said, this kind of goes along with the mushroom compost, but earthworm castings, okay? And these I happen to get on sale for $3 at Walmart. And these are probably one of the most beneficial things you can put into your soil is earthworm castings, redworm castings, generalized worm castings, okay? Because they break that down into a completely usable source of bacteria, microbes, and energy and food for plants. Okay. The very last thing I do, most people don't add stuff like this, but I add biochar. Okay. I add biochar because carbon is one of the most important properties in having good microbial growth. Okay. When you make compost, you want to try to have a very high carbon to nitrogen ratio. Okay. The more carbon you can add, the more microbial growth and bacteria that you'll get that will help break down minerals. Okay. A lot of people don't realize that. It's not, the plant sends out sugars through its roots. And those sugars entice certain microbes and bacterias, and then they release the nutrients that they're looking for. It's a really, really symbiotic relationship between the plant and the soil. And it all starts at the beginning here with the proper mix. So, experiment. Use different amounts, okay? Whatever works for you in your seeds, stick with it, all right? This is just what I use. So, that's what I've been up to. Very, very busy. But look at that potting mix. Now I'm ready to start filling trays. Happy farming, y'all. Later.